Hi, I'm going to be reading part 3 of Gasoline Rainbows today. Thank you all for being here and keeping up on the story with me. I'm just going to pick up where I left off. Okay, here we go. Why is it still hissing? Fielder wanted to know. Make it stop. It's not doing anything now, Fielder. It's gone. Look it. His head was resting in the spread bamboo shoots rooted in his palms. I got an idea. Fielder, come up. I got an idea for everyone, Jean said. He stood up and pulled everyone to his or her feet. Fielder laughed. I know something that can make the bad go away. I do something when I feel too bad to go on, he said. I never knew he had those feelings. I know something too, Uriel said, and we turned to see there were snake's eyes in the place of her old blue ones. We could keep talking to it. I mean, we could call it back, she was saying. But before she even finished, I was saying no. Never, one of the boys said. We all went to the laundry room. Jean stripped his t-shirt off and collected the rest of ours. We stood bare and open, letting God and everyone see our goosebumps, hard grains of sand under our skins, millions of them all over everywhere. He took all our tops and put them in the dryer and cranked the knob to high. We stood and waited. Only Uriel put her eyes on each of us. We took our turns getting eyed, pretending not to notice. We each fixed our eyes on a point on the ceiling or wall or floor, much like an Olympic powerlifter who burns a hole into an inanimate object to pretend he is not there, about to burst his blood vessels open. Jean took out our clothes and handed them back one at a time, not tossing, handing them with purpose. My sweater's heat soaked my skin down to my bones almost. Uriel slid hers on last. When we were little, sometimes our mom would bring us each a candy bar home after she came back from work. I would usually devour mine systematically and unflinchingly. Uriel would watch me until I was done when I was craving more sick sweetness. She would then stare at me as she ate bit by seemingly insignificant bit, denying me. It was hers, and I had already had mine. We all went back to the floor of the living room, no one wanting to sleep, or not able to sleep. Uriel rested her head on Fielder's shoulder. His head, in turn, was upon Everett's shoulder. Everett had his own head stacked on top of Fielder's. Fielder had Uriel in his arm, under his wing, like he sometimes would. They had known each other longest, having graduated together in '97. Jean made his secret signal at me across the circle. Eyes crossed, then a quick lizard tongue. In and out. I copied him. All 12 eyes were on fire, waiting for something else to happen. I was waiting for it to come back to life. When a tap came on the window, we were all struck with a lightning bolt of paralysis. It was only a renegade tree branch, it turned out. Fielder's eyes, however, were not persuaded. Oh my gosh, I just lost my place. I'm sorry. Were not persuaded away from the window the remaining part of the night. Just as we had seen the sun die, we also saw it come to life and watercolor the sky what I would call red. Red at night, sailor's delight. Red in the morning, sailor's warning. Most everyone had passed out in the night. Everett was spooning Fielder, spooning Uriel. My head was on Jean's lap. I had watched the sky shift inch by inch. When I turned to look up at Jean's face, I saw he was doing the same thing I had been. Gabriel had fallen into sleep and was slumped onto Jean's shoulder, making a wet spot on Jean's t-shirt with his mouth. Jean did not break his scanning of the new day, so I returned to looking out the window. His voice came clear through the eerie silence, like cold water on his face. Are you thinking about her? I was now. I didn't have to ask which her he meant. She used to paint in a spare room in our old house, oil. She had jars with the mineral spirits and some in the mixes of alkaline and others. She would look and look at the canvas in front of her before dipping her blue-handled ox-hair brush into the little jar and squishing out the excess goop on the rim. The smell of it was irresistible. Some people like gasoline or spray paint or other chemical and dangerous scents. I do as well. When she was, oh my goodness. Clean her brushes, cap her jars. When she was done, she would clean her brushes, cap her jars, and go to bed wordlessly and noiselessly. I would stay on my little stool, even if she flipped the light off. I would stay and pick up the jar with the mineral spirits in it, mine. The old oil paint remnants would be sunk to the bottom, muck at the bottom of a crystal clear pond. I would put the rim to my nose and breathe deeply. If I just tasted a little, I thought it wouldn't kill me. That shit will kill you if it gets in your mouth, Uriel told me once when she caught me sitting in the dark, inhaling it a little too deeply. Somehow I knew, even before she told me, that it was dangerous and wrong, the way it made my head feel funny when I breathed too much. But just a little teeny weeny bit couldn't kill me, so I dipped my pinky in. I held it to my face and saw a little bead of it run down the side of my littlest, most defenseless finger. I put the whole of it in my mouth. My mouth exploded with the heat of fire and the taste of needly spice. If I had ever tried wasabi, I would say it was something like a heaping spoonful of that in a crunchy candy coat of hell. I opened my mouth as if to puke, but there was nothing in there to puke out. The next day I did the same thing a little more. In fact, I did that every day until she caught me. It couldn't have been very long, I suppose, considering that my brain is still a decently functioning machine. She snatched that old baby food jar out of my hand, splashing my poison all over the rug on both of our hands. The minutes were ticking nearer to midnight. Gene had his face resting on the wall, watching Uriel and Everett play war. They were flipping cards over something fierce, not even seeing who was winning each hand, just tossing them crazy until they were sliding on top of each other and falling to the kitchen floor. Somewhere in the back, I could hear Everett daring Gabriel to eat snow he had taken a leak into. A stone wall of nausea snuck up on me. I had been going at a pretty good clip until I ran smack into it headlong. I put my palms to my temples and squeezed. When I opened my eyes, each and every person in the room was wearing a panda mask, still carrying on with what they were doing. I looked, waiting for this to be one of my daydreams. One by one, as each of the panda people noticed me, they smiled and made the panda face disappear. Uriel looked up from her game at me, her panda nose a little scrunched up, probably wondering why I was looking the way I was. Her panda fur melted to her human complexion. Her confusion melted to her pearly smile. I ran my tongue over my own teeth. It felt like there was some moss growing on there. I left the pandas to go into the bathroom. Something weird was happening to me. As I was brushing my teeth, I heard everyone counting down. 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, louder and louder as each second went by closer to the new year, 2001. The window to the bathroom was open for some reason, and I could hear people outside the window chatting as they set off firecrackers. 3, 2, 1. Right as I spit out the old toothpaste, a loud boom cracked the air. There was a screech that seemed to come from deep in the earth, from the belly of a hellhound. People were shuffling. The talking outside the window died out, moved away. A firecracker went off with no audience. I lay my toothbrush down on the sink's edge and went out with everyone else. Outside Jean's house, there was a 5-foot-tall fence with cemented wood posts holding it up. A little bitty silver car had its hood split down the middle with one of those posts in between the two pieces of hood. Everyone was standing around except Jean and Fielder, who were quick approaching the driver's side. Before they could get there, the door flung open. They stood back, waiting to see what was going to come out. A skinny little bare leg swung out and got a steady foot on the ground. It belonged to a lady, maybe 45 years old, who walked steady but swerving in a pair of diamond-studded stilettos. She was coming right for me, those eyes, the deep brown hue of a peroxide bottle, locked right in mine. She got up to me, wrapped her arms around me. Jean was right behind her, ready to pull her off. I wasn't being hurt, though. She must have weighed about $1.05 sopping wet, and that couldn't do any damage, most likely. Would you show me where the bathroom is? Yeah, Hazel, take her to the bathroom, clean her chin off. Jean said with a fistful of her shaggy fur coat, still ready to yank if she did anything he didn't like. I pulled her by the hand into the bathroom where my toothbrush bristles were still damp. I got out the peroxide, a wad of toilet paper, for her cut-up face. Don't bother with that. I'll just use this. She picked up Jean's thermal underwear off the ground, still slightly damp from when I used it as a bath mat earlier, and pressed it to her bloody patch. As she did this, she sat on the edge of the tub and dumped her whole purse onto the tiles. She found her tangerine lipstick and smeared it in a flawless shape over her mouth. She sprayed herself, then me, with a dark bottle of some perfume with a lot of hyphens and accent marks in the name. You kids aren't going to call an ambulance, are you? No one can know. I mean, my husband doesn't know I have this car. You don't think that lumberjack-looking guy would call the cops, do you? You people out here don't like to involve the police usually, am I right? Or is that the South? Maybe that's Mississippi or Louisiana that's coming to mind. I don't think anyone would. I can go tell them not to, I said, and turned to go do it. She grabbed my wrist. You ever been smacked in the face with $5,000? Uh-oh, did you drop your thing? Here. You want to look at that? It's okay. You want to look at that? You want to look at your toy? What? $5,000. She unwrapped what I trust was a stack of $5,000 in all $100 bills. The stack was doubled over and belted with a rubber band, looking like it was just hanging on for dear life and praying to the god of rubber bands not to snap and win the disapproval of its owner. Before I knew what was what, the $5,000 was smacking me across the face. More of a pat, but I loved the metallic smell of those soft, leathery handled bills. It was only gross if you thought about it. She patted me across the face with it again on the same cheek. Quickly then, she bent the stack over again and wrapped the rubber band around it. All her belongings got scooped back into her bag. She put it sideways on the ground like a dustpan and pushed all her stuff in with her foot like the broom. Its wide mouth gobbled up all that stuff. You know, I am a godly woman. You're a nice lady, sure. Should we call someone? I think someone should come get you. You said you had a husband? What's your name again? Her foot kicked the purse on accident, and a small little pistol spilled out, twirling like we were playing spin the bottle. The gun stopped spinning, nose pointed to my toes. I hadn't noticed that the first time all her stuff got poured on the floor. Okay, I'll stop for right now. Thank you all for listening, and I'll make another video soon, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.